Hi friends, it's Selina from AgentMoves. So I just want to talk to you about something that is costing you deals right now and you may not even realize it. So the truth is that most agents only follow up with home-ready buyers at their open house. Everyone else basically gets ignored. So those future prospects basically slip through the cracks and 6 months later they are working with someone else. If you're running a team, this problem multiplies. Your follow up is inconsistent, time consuming, and frankly, lost leads are burning money for you and your VAs. But here's the good news, we've built a system to fix this. Let's be real about what's actually happening at the open houses first. So, you're only chasing the hot leads, the buyers who are ready to go today. But what about the person who is just starting to look, or the visitor who might be thinking about selling their current home? Actually, open houses are normally the first thing that people start to do when they are starting out on their journey. So if you're only talking about the people who are ready to make a deal, you're obviously losing out on a lot. Okay, the other problem, the manual chaos, handwritten sign ins, illegible phone numbers, inconsistent follow up from your team members is really hurting you, right? There's no real system to stay top of mind months down the road when those prospects are actually ready to move. You're leaving money on the table. And if you're a team leader, you know exactly what I'm talking about. This inconsistency is costing you and your agents closed deals. That's exactly why we created the perfect open house automation. This isn't just another digital sign-in tool. It's a full marketing system that captures every visitor, qualifies them automatically, and nurtures them with strategic, personalized follow-up without you having to lift a finger. Now, here is what really makes a difference. So first of all, you get a 95% lead accuracy, right? You're not having to deal with fake information, but also the way in which we have them sign in ensures that they're giving us the right information. Second, you get a 31% lead engagement rate. These aren't just captured leads sitting in your CRM, they're actively responding to personalized offers that we send to them. And not to mention that you save hours a week in manual data entry and manual follow up, right? This is an enterprise level automation built specifically for real estate teams, small teams, solo agents, and it's actually all inside your AgentMoves platform. Now, let me walk you through exactly how the system works. There are basically 7 automation steps that happen in the background so you can focus on selling while the system does all of the heavy lifting. So, step 1, your prospects simply text the word open or the word that we give you, it's a code word, to your AgentMoves number to actually check in. This method actually gets you better response rates because they are texting the code word to your number. So they're actually opting in, right? They're identifying that you are a person that they want to talk to, and that does wonders on the automation afterwards. Now we also have the option that you can scan a QR code, but we do recommend using the text code word option because again you'll get a higher response rate, but you can just have them scan the QR code and go right to the form, which is actually step 2. The moment they text or the moment they are actually get to scan the QR code, they go to this form and they fill out all necessary information like name, phone, and email. But what's better is we actually ask them a few more questions to better personalize their nurture and follow up, right? We're even going to find out if they're working with an agent so we know where your biggest opportunity lies. All right. Now, step 3, when they submit the form, they immediately receive a link to the property details and a green pass so you can easily see, from their phone who is actually signed in or not. And this also makes you look super professional and it is instant. This happens the moment that they fill out the form. Number 4, all the prospect data is now entered into AgentMoves. All of this valuable information that they have just put in is accurate and in AgentMoves, along with necessary information about the follow-up that is going to happen. That goes into AgentMoves automatically. They are actually then going to get some thank you messages, and then the actual campaign begins in step 6. Now, this means that there is an offer, depending on what they put into the form, that goes out to them to really generate an immediate response, because we're trying to spark curiosity and engagement. And the best way to get engagement is really by sparking curiosity. So our offers are really based around that, because we want them to text back. And if they don't reply to that offer, the nurtures keep going, and they're going to continue to get valuable information, again, that is customized to the information they have put in to the open house form. So this is a really simple automation, but it works wonders in actually activating your database and ensuring that no lead is left untouched. Okay, so you're probably ready to get this activated, so let's just talk about what that looks like. So there are a few steps that you can use to actually activate all of this, and it actually starts with filling out a form. So you are sent this form every single week, and it will actually allow you to put information about your open house. And this information is super important because all of your contacts get tagged with this information who come to your open house, so that we know exactly how to personalize the messaging, because we know even which open house they came to. So you just fill this out. You're actually going to put the seller's email address. And if you have our listings automation, we actually send an invite to the seller so that they know when this is actually happening when you submit this form. If you don't have the listing automations on, it's not going to do anything. And if you don't know if it's on or not, it is always defaulted as off until we actually meet and turn it on. But you're going to fill this out. You're going to put in the street address, your city. You're going to put in who is actually going to host the open house. If you want a round robin style, where it's assigning the leads coming in based on multiple agents and then round robining them, you actually can do that by putting in a co-host. You're going to put the date, the start time, the end date. You're also going to put your property link, because this information is actually sent to the potential buyer or seller, and it's going to give them additional details about your property. So this is stuff that they wouldn't normally find on Zillow, right? It's your property website, that you have for each home, or a link to your website with that property info, just so that you have as much information as possible on that lead. You're also going to copy in your MLS property description right here, and the price if you want. When you copy in this description, this is actually going to be used to create an AI-powered hook and social caption that will be sent to you directly after submitting this form, and you can actually use that to promote your open house. So that's actually step 2. Once you submit this form, right, we're creating the social caption and the AI hook for you to use to actually create that post about the open house. All you would do is add in, and you can do this directly from AgentMoves in the social planner, but you can add in a post that has an image, put the hook on the image of that house, and use the caption, and you're good to go. And you start promoting your open house, right? All right, step 3. So you actually are going to receive the printout or the digital form for you to use at your open house, and you can decide how you want your guests to get the form. Now they can text the code word, which you are given that when you submit this form, or they can scan a QR code to get to the form, and they look like this. So when you're in AgentMoves, you can go to funnels. There's a folder called Open House Automation, and what happens is in each one of these funnels, there is actually a sign, and there's 2 signs. There's a control and a variation, and those are just 2 different versions of this page. But the first page is just the very simple text, the word open, and you're going to get our form. We also keep the QR code on there. But the next one that you can do if you wanted to is just have your digital sign. You can put this on an iPad. It displays perfectly on an iPad in landscape mode. They can scan and get the actual form. So super easy to do this, and that way they've got all the information to get to that form. So there's 2 options again that you can use. We do recommend texting the word open, and you can see that in this case, it's actually open one because this is the first open house submission. You can basically create a ton of open houses on any given weekend. Depending on the size of your team, you probably need 5 or more different open houses, and you've got basically funnels for each open house. So once it's you actually submit the form, it's assigned to an open house, and you will get the information in an email for that sign, which is that first step in the funnel. All right, so once you do that, you're basically good, right? You just have to display that form somewhere at your open house, and as people start to sign in, right, then you are actually going to get a form from us via text message, or the assigned agent, right? That primary host is going to get a form that's already filled in for this information, right? And you can take notes as you are there walking that buyer through the home, right? So they've just signed in, you get this one with this information populated. You can just add any notes that you want, like they have 2 kids and looking for big backyard. This will not go to the client, but you can type in whatever you want. There's a follow-up date, so you can say, hey, I remember something you said, I'm going to follow up with them on Wednesday. You can even put your follow-up note into here. It also gives you optional fields if you want to know anything else, living in Florida, whatever you want to put in so that you remember this information. Do they need to sell their home first? Are they buyer pre-approved? What are their wants? And then and all these are optional fields, but there's a field to allow you to put in any external notes. So this could be anything that you want to send the client in an email, which will go out to them right when they leave the open house. So this may be something like, so glad we met. I'm looking forward to meeting I will send you some additional details, including the seller disclosure, whatever it is that you wanted to tell them. You can put in there, and then you hit submit. Okay, you don't have to fill this in. This is entirely optional. All this is optional. If all you want to do is fill out, the follow-up date and where they're living, you could do that too, right? Whatever you want to fill out, all this is optional, okay? And if you don't want to fill it out at all, you don't have to do that. But that is step 4, and then you let the system work. That is basically it, right? You're going to get this information, you're going to fill out your open house, and everyone else will get nurtured, and you are good to go. Right? So that is essentially it. So if you are still doing manual follow-up after your open houses, you are just working way too hard for too little return, right? This system is really meant for top producing teams and agents who really want to get the most out of their leads, stay top of mind, and just close more deals without having the extra work, right? So you already have this in AgentMoves, you already have access to this. All you need to do is activate it. So that next step is to just submit this form and you'll be good to go. Okay, so you can actually set up a strategy session with us and we'll help you just configure any sort of customization you want in here, but everything is available to you. You can also check the dashboard, which is the open house dashboard. There's also a team one, and you can see those leads coming in, right? Which will be amazing as you start to fill your pipeline and you see this actually growing. Okay, so we will configure within automations. There are some automations that we will actually configure together. There's some like customization you can do to this, like you can change certain messaging, and we will go through that, but a lot of different options that we can help you. If you want notification messages to go to somebody else, we can set that all up for you. So it's already ready to go. Really the only thing that we do to activate this is submitting the form, right? So if you want to find where your form is, once you submit the form, we will send it to you every single week, but you do have to submit it for the first time. So if you just want to go to sites and forms, and you can go within the open house automation and you will see it is right here, right? Open house form submit pro. You can just get link, hit preview, and there you go. That's the form. Okay, super easy to find, but I hope you will start using it. It's just an amazing way to capture more from the leads that are already coming to you. All right, talk to you later. Bye.